Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Sahasarara Chakra, the highest divine center. Let's discuss what integrated 1024 lotus petals, not 1000 lotus petals. Please look at this picture very clearly. I have written something down there. 0, then next 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512 and 1024 only. This is the only binary division which I understand Sahasrara Chakra is. Entire divine mathematics, what we see is start from 0, goes to 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 516 and 28. That's the way the design of the nature has been made. For that matter, one spermatogonium becomes 512 mature sperms. But when it comes to Sahasrara Chakra, it is 0, starts from 0 and can go through 11 dimensions, reach up to 1024 when you reach the highest level of universal consciousness within your own self. And this is something which I am going to explain to you step by step as I experience that within my own self. You can see right in the middle there is square which is 0, then there is a circle around it which is 1, then you see 2 which is infinity center, then you see 4, then you see 8, then you see 16, you see 32, and same thing is multiplied thereafter. And I think this is extension of my own Vishuddhi Chakra purified to reach the highest level. And I think the beautiful description, graphic presentation of Sahasrara Chakra, which is different from one you have ever seen with anybody else doing it. Now to come to question of Divyank. And this is something which has brought me to Divyank, the divine design of nature, one and Lord. In this particular picture also you can see Divyank picture which is 22, then 10 pentagons and 5 tetragons. But in the middle you can see the planets which have been imposed, starting from Earth to the one which goes to Uranus. There are 10 in the process. And we are going to see the association of Divyank, all the 10 plus chakras, and also Sahasrara in the process itself. And I do know this is divine design, not by me or man-made concept. And I go only for the divine mathematics, physics, chemistry, and medical sciences. As you see, the perfection in entire universe, starting from hydrogen to helium to sodium, chloride, potassium, calcium, the other thing, to the molecules, to the compounds, to the cells, to the whole thing within the human body, as well as the same reflections you see in the entire universe. I am going to show you some of the things which Sahasrara made me understand, which has made a real difference to me. Now, this is one picture I am showing you very clearly. These are the 7 days: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And there are only 7 heavenly bodies you can see. Sunday with Sun, Monday with Moon, Tuesday with Mars, Wednesday with Mercury, Thursday with Jupiter, and Friday with Venus, and Saturday with Saturn. And these are the only things that is uniform consistency in the entire universe, whether it's India or the West or North or South. Entire astronomy centers only on these 7 days and 7 things, and there is uniformity throughout. And I am looking for that kind of consistency where everybody agrees to the perfection, no more questions left. That uniformity of the knowledge is required, and I think this is where Tantra Vidya has helped me to understand divine mathematics much better. Now this is again a picture of Navagrah from India, same 7 days, Rahu and Ketu. And why this temple was done with these 9 pictures only, not more than that. And I think that also I'm going to show in the process that this is the divine mathematics which people should understand with evidence which cannot be questioned at all. Now come to the question of Tantra Vidya. As I told you, the only thing which we can understand the uniformity is through the perfect human anatomy, perfect human physiology, perfect human biochemistry, and perfect human psychology. When all the four are perfect within the human body, and only that perfection can see the macrocosmic universe within the human body as a microcosmic cosmos. Having done that, understood the beauty of Ved, Upanishads, and many of the Sanskrit scriptures, and brought out the divine mathematics and symbolic representation of Akhand Bharat one by one, and converted into graphic presentation of animate form to semi-animate to inanimate form, and then learnt that everything is identical. Aham Brahmasmi. We are all identical. Once we know that, only that kind of knowledge can bring uniformity in the world. Today's knowledge by and large is so defective, so deficient, that every student, researcher, publisher, professor, author, everybody is saying something which is defective, 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 including Nobel laureates. And the purpose, great spiritual people are not talking of the consistency with which the entire universe is created. And this particular thing is to bring, to see the entire universe from smallest to the highest in one web. Now come to the question of Muladhara. The first center of consciousness is this particular thing which is there in the pelvic region, which controls the sympathetic system right up to the legs part. Now first thing which I am making very clear to this, Muladhara chakra is with 4 lotus petals. Heavenly body is Mother Earth, and ancient Brahmin call it Rahu Graha. Not Earth was never a part of Navagraha at all. I am making it very clear. And with eclipse, you can see Rahu is the head, and that's it. So the first thing, Mooladhara is 4, Mother Earth, and according to Navagraha, it's the Rahu. Second thing is Swadhisthana chakra, the most important, which gives you the testosterone, estrogen for intelligence and energy as the muscles, RBC, oxygen, other thing. This is something which can make a difference to make us intelligent, intuitive person, to rise from 0 level to 100 and 1024 lotus petals. You need to have this particular intrinsic consistently there. No misuse, no disuse, optimum, and retain that for all your life from young age to as you grow 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 plus plus plus. If your testosterone estrogen level is perfect, only then you can be intelligent, only then you can reach Sahasrara chakra and be with that and understand the insight concept clearly only with testosterone and estrogen combination. Then come to the question of the heavenly body. It's the Venus, and it's got 6 petals. Now, this particular concept, why 6 petals? Because the distance from the sun core to Venus is 90. When divided by 15 million kilometers, you get 6 only. So that is also divine mathematics, which I make it very, very clear. Then third is the Nabhi chakra, the third adrenal gland, a center of emergency required to make us survive in case of emergency, accident, bleeding, otherwise. And this, if it intact, you will not have any problem with water content, electrolytes, glucose, homeostasis, and perfect can be taken care by this itself. That is again interesting part. Then chakra with its 10 petals is the Mercury. Now again the Mercury, the distance, Mercury is the closest to Sun. From Sun to Mercury, when on the either side, it could be 155 divided by 15 is 10. And I am quite happy to say that this mathematics, when Mercury goes around Sun, it may be closest, but it can go to other distance. But maybe you can take Earth to the Mercury, Mercury to Earth. You could be 150 divided by 15. is 10 only, and let us accept that. And this is planet connected with Wednesday. Then come to the Manipura chakra, the digestion of nutrition, and connected with digestion otherwise as such. And this is Manipura is with the moon. Now this Navagraha, its moon is a heavenly body, and it's Monday, and then 12 petals. Let us leave it at that. Then comes Anahata chakra. This is with the heart, thymus, lungs, and heart as such. And chakra is associated with sun itself. And again 12, let us leave that, is responsible for Sunday. Now come to the question, Vishuddhi chakra is the thyroid gland for immunity, detox, purification, at the same time producing heat within the body. I think that makes it very clear when you're moving to the higher and higher level, then you should need energy of higher levels of consciousness. Then this is associated with 16 petals. The heavenly body is Mars, and there are 16 nerves arising from cervical region. Anhata is the 12 nerves from upper 6 thoracic separate, and as far as Manipura is concerned, lower 6 thoracic vertebrae giving 12 nerves. Those are 12 and 12 nerve is explained there itself. Whereas Nabhi, it is 10, 5 lumbar. And as far as sacrum is concerned, 3 nerves with 6 number is also clear. Whereas Muladhara is concerned, 4 coccyx as one unit and 4 sympathetic nerves, Ida, Pingla, and same thing at the bottom, make it very, very clear. Now come to the question, Ajna Agyan chakra, which is there in the pituitary gland. It's a brain stem and also the center where endocrine and autonomic nervous system work in unison as such to bring philosophy into the life consciousness. And this is associated with asteroid belt. And asteroid belt is one thing which I call it Ketu body. Rahu head, Ketu body. And that's as Ketu's body is broken pieces. Similarly, ancient people knew very well Ketu is the broken meteoroids, and otherwise you can see in this picture. But now when you come to the question of Sat Chakra, Nirupana talks of only 2 petals, right? 4, 6, 10, 12, and then Ajna is 2, but I am taking 22 because 420 million kilometers is the distance of asteroid belt from the sun. When 420 divided by 15 million kilometers is 28 only, and I think that's why I have decided, and that is number of nuclei in the particular pituitary gland itself. Then come to the next chakra is Vigyan chakra, the 8th hypothalamus, which is the head center for autonomic endocrine system. And this is the most important thing which I realized. The picture of Vigyan chakra made me realize that animate and semi-animate can be converted to inanimate, and I have already explained, once you reach that level, you have a direct communication with Aditi, the voice of silence. She can teach you the truth. Once you are in tune with the devotion, that is where bhakti, devotion, karam, gyan, vigyan, pragyan, akhandata come together. When every human being is in tune with antaratma of Aditi, Kundalini, or antaratma as such, or prana. Once you are with that, only then the wisdom can come. Till such time you only imagine things where there is no consistency. I think this was the greatest revelation of making Vigyan Chakra way back in 1997 itself. Then comes to the question of Vigyan Chakra associated with Jupiter. And it has got 52 lotus petals, which I see in Sanskrit as well as brain. And then how did I get 52? The distance from core of the sun to Jupiter is 718 million kilometers. 718 million kilometers divided by 15 kilometers is 52 only. And that's what the number of nuclei and other things which are there in hypothalamus speak volume. And it is responsible for Thursday. I think now you're seeing the days, you're seeing the consistency, you're seeing the power, you're seeing the number of petals also increasing step by step. Once you reach the Vigyan Chakra, only then you can understand Sanskrit completely, because there are 52 letters. And then move on to the next stage step by step. Then come to the Pragyan Chakra, which I call with the pine cone or so-called pineal gland, where the soul enters into the ventricles of the brain after breaking Brahma Granthi, Aditi, Kundalini, through the ventricles, through Brahmanadi to Brahman thing, is where you realize that your dimensions, which are only two for eyes, length and breadth, third dimension is not seen. But in the eyes, ventricles, this pineal gland can see 10 dimensions simultaneously clearly. Only once you realize that you have reached that, and once you have that experience, you go to the intuitive wisdom level much better. Now, coming to the stage, what I realized in the process. When I realized the process, there are 96 lotus petals in Pragyan Chakra. The heavenly body is Saturn. Now, when I say Saturn is responsible for Saturn, I also make it clear. From Sun to Saturn, there are 1440 kilometers distance. 1440 kilometers distance divided by 15 is 96 only. I think that speaks volume how we have moved on to this stage step by step. Then come to the Akhand Chakra. This is a 10th center which I connect with the insular cortex, and it is where autonomic nervous system takes a higher form from unconscious, conscious, subconscious to superconscious. Once come to superconscious, central autonomic nervous system comes to play a role. When you start becoming even more tuned with the higher and higher conscious, this is where integration takes place, and you have literally reached the 10th center of consciousness within yourself. Once you reach that level, you move on to the next stage of the planet, which is further away from Earth itself. And this is where has the Akhand Chakra has 192 lotus petals. The heavenly body is Unitus. So accordingly, the distance from Sun to Uranus divided by 15 will come to 196 only, 92 only. I think these are the divine mathematics which has made me realize there is independent petals on that part. Then come to the Divyank, this is the 11th center of chakra, where the entire system comes to a role very, very clearly. Now comes to the question, which number of petals in Divya Chakra? 384 lotus petals. That outer layer of solar cortex is there, and that's the Akash course with 783 hertz, the frequency is there. In this picture you see, once you reach that level, you have come to 384, and that could be the maximum IQ, intelligent quotient, a man can achieve is 384 easily. Depending on divine mathematics of this nature, right to Divyank, I do feel who is a pure person listening to consciousness of divine nature within the body, like Nicholas Tesla. Nicholas had 180 to 320, and he could have gone to 384 also, because he was a person who realized divine nature is in 369, which I have already explained. Up to this level, any of the men can reach that level very, very clearly, and having reached that particular level of 783, you can produce 8 hertz frequency through the brain, one and large. And once that is done, I think we can do wonderfully well to self-development, solar system, spiral galaxy, and up to that stage is very clear. This is only up to spiral galaxy, not beyond that. Let that be clear. Now comes to the Sahasrara Chakra, which I told you in the beginning, we are going to reach much higher levels of consciousness. This is the highest divine center, integrated 1024 lotus petals. Now we are going to specifically understand this concept step by step, what it means from Sun to which part of the universe it is all about. This picture, as I told you in the beginning, 0, which is the starting point, Shunya, and how Shunya leads to the first creation of 1, then binary division to 2, then 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512 and 6. And same divine mathematics is seen. When I talk of my EG, it could be 8, it could be 16, it could be 32, it could be 64, and I can tell you we can divide the brain also right up to 1024 divisions in the same form by going deeper and deeper and deeper. As most of the EEG which I have shown is practically available with the kind which I have shown is only 16 petals, left 8, right 8, very clear. But we could also be 32 further division, could be 64, could be 128, 256, 512 and so on. But if you take all the divisions of 1024 parts of the brain, you can still find 8 Hz frequency in all the sentiments completely. Only that says you are truly in tune with Sahasrara Chakra. And whatever I talking with Devyang, for the first time recognized, conceived and revealed in 2015 only. It's taken me so many years of hard education, things step by step to reach that level. Once you reach that level, the entire universe is there. That is what Veda and Upanishads are talking about. That wisdom of Brahman is of that kind of level without any difficulty. There is a consistency throughout. That's the divine mathematics, divine physics, divine chemistry and same thing. Even same thing, you look at Nernst equation, log Hughes is 61. Actually, it should be 61.8034. This is a perfect infinity number, is 61.8034. No other number is that. So all the things have been revealed to me one by one by goddess Aditi on one side, Durga on one side, Adi Prashakti or Gayatri, all the divine conscious of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, all the gods and goddesses of Sanatana Dharma, they are accumulatory, explain their own concept, their pictures very clearly to me, because I saw the divine mathematics, I saw the divine symbolic representation, and that is what it is all about. And once this is understood, you can see the beauty of the entire universe moving step by step in the process. Now the question is comes to Sahasrara 1024. I make it very, very clear. I have shown in the picture of Akhand Brahman. That is the Shivling I am talking about. It's a pi structure very clearly from the core of the sun to the pole star. From core of the sun to the pole star distance, the structure is into 22 by 7, which is equivalent to 3.14285 only. Similarly, Shivling 11 by 7, you can see the Shivling on top, 11 by 7 is underneath, and this is energy which I am talking, that is energy which is Sahasrara Chakra, connecting sun, all the planets into one unison right up to pole star as one unit. Once that is done, that is experienced, that would have 1024. When you are in tune with that energy, you will produce 8 Hz alpha frequency with eyes open on all the 1024 parts of the brain. Once you reach that level, I think mathematics will understand what I have shown with 16 could be 32, 64, 128, 256, 4, 512 or 1024. And once you go for that division in the technical equipment step by step more, for that matter, each mathematical concept, each segment which we take for analysis in power spectrum analysis is also 1024 lotus only. I think that speaks volume about the bits in mathematical design. I am glad our technology is super, but mathematics used by AI and other things to analyze is defective because we have biased opinion. The day artificial intelligence becomes looking for the perfect divine mathematics in the world ever spoken or discussed or recognized and conceived and revealed to the world, and then read this particular concept in that light, the world will say the best thing ever done in the history of education for perfect mathematics, perfect physics, perfect chemistry, perfect medical sciences, which are the core subject, is by Shiv Bhushan Sharma only. The day it realizes the entire world would have all these videos as education, they won't need any other book, because these are showing what are the defects given by the people, what are the defects, what is right, in the light of Divyank and other things. And once that is understood, I think the entire world would have a uniform education. All the differences of privileged, underprivileged, rich and poor will disappear. Nobody need to buy the books. Everything will be digital. Everything through the YouTube channel or any other channel having these 4K representations could be the perfect for entire world. With that objective, I am making it clear to the world. We need to bring uniformity in education through the world, from east to the west, north to the south, with the uniformity of Akhand Vidyashrams, this particular concept. And with that, I think this is very interesting to move on. Now, entire thing is finally presented this. I am not going to discuss, but having understood the beauty of Sahasrara Chakra is not 1000 petals, which people had, but they had to put it in a graphic presentation. But I did precise, concise is 1024, not 1000 alone. I think once that is understood, I think we are clear in understanding divine mathematics clearly, without even iota of a doubt. Simplification done by people is fine, but oversimplification is not science. For the golden ratio 1.618 is too simple. It's like 1000. 1.618034 is the precise, like 1024 is like that. Simple is 1000, perfection is 1024. Simple golden ratio is 1.618 and perfect is 1.618034. That's it. I think once that is understood, I think we are very clear in understanding precise, concise, divine mathematics. Only with that the knowledge will be seen from mineral kingdom to plant kingdom to animal kingdom to the human kingdom to solar system to spiral galaxy to the entire universe. You're going to see the same mathematics with Devyankis. Once that is understood, I think the world would rise to uniformity in education, and that is what my desire is. And I think with this, almost Tantra Vidya ends. And I'm glad that I've been able to show something from my experience one by one. Next, we will go on to Akhand Yoga, the yoga to be in connected with Divyank step by step. What are the things that people can do to learn, where Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga becomes the primary thing to concentrate on mind and consciousness, and then awakening of Kundalini or Antaratma Aditi, and with that combination going on to reach 9th and 10th level of Akhand Yoga. And you are going to see that beautifully, same thing in Tantra Vidya, same thing in Yoga Vidya. And I think enough for the time being. Thank you very much.